up, YouTube? Sorry in advance if the audio is not perfect. Um, Honestly, I'm not sure where my GoPro is, and I didn't feel like looking for it. So we're using my cell phone, which is not the greatest. iPhone X, S, or whatever. Anyways, the mic's goofy on it at times. Only when recording video, though, so that's strange. But we got a four-wheeler today, as you guys can tell by the thumbnail. So here it is. This thing is clapped. Just gonna put that out there out front. Completely clapped. It needs a lot of work. But it does run, it does go. So we got these right here, which conveniently I already had set sitting here because I bought them for my last 400ex. I never used them. This is a 2001. Has an Alba Racing front bumper, which I think looks awesome. It does need bearings in the rear for sure. And it has a White Brothers R4 exhaust. Some kid got a little happy with the black spray paint. So we're gonna go ahead, get this thing cleaned up because I forgot how dirty you get riding these compared to like my six-wheeler, right? You just get filthy riding these things. So I got to clean it because I rode it home, and then I have graffiti remover, I guess. We're gonna try spraying that on there and seeing if it'll remove all this black paint after letting it sit for a minute, and then hit it with the pressure washer. Okay, well, we got this thing all cleaned up. It's not very pretty. But if you guys have been around for a while, you know I've had a bunch of 400EXs. I actually really like these. No, they're not the fastest. No, they don't ride the best. But usually they're pretty reliable. Might have to replace a head gasket here or there if it's stock, especially if it's big bore. But yeah, they usually just keep running and running and running, and that's why I love them. The whole four-wheeler will fall apart, but it still runs. This is what we're going to try. Goof off. Pro Strength graffiti remover. I'm going to go ahead and shake this up, spray it all over where it's black. I might even hit these quite ugly Nerf bars. I'm not entirely sure why, because I'm probably going to replace those. They're fucking hammered. So, but I might hit them just because. Pretty gross. It's all starting to pop off though. Okay, it's much later in the day. Doesn't really look like it, but it doesn't really get dark here. So I did put that stuff on here. Looks like there used to be a big Fly Racing decal on here. Still has the goo on it that never totally got cleaned off. I didn't let it sit too long. My pressure washer ran out of fuel, which is kind of a trend around here. So I did go out, buy 5 gallons of fresh fuel, but it's like 9 o'clock, 9:30, something like that. So I'm not going to continue with cleaning it tonight. I did take this thing out. Sorry, didn't grab the GoPro. It felt like the clutch was slipping, and I was like, ugh. You know, I knew it when I got this thing, but wasn't too worried about it. I was like, you know what, a clutch pack for these things, it's like, I don't know, $100 for the friction plates and the steel plates and all that. So not a big deal. But turns out the guy had this adjusted like way out, so it was like the very end of the stroke it would start to catch. So I adjusted it so right about there the clutch starts to disengage and propel the wheeler forward. After doing that, I took it out for a little ride, and no clutch slip, because before you'd be in third, fourth, fifth gear, hammer the throttle, make a bunch of noise, wouldn't turn the tires worth of shit. Now it actually worked great. So that's super cool. Got that figured out. Something I just noticed. I was sitting here looking at this thing, and I was like, what is this for? It's got freaking LED lights on it. Kind of goofy, but whatever. A couple other things I want to do. It does run. It does appear the head gasket is leaking a little bit. Like, you can't feel it pushing out or anything, but it is leaking a little bit. it is something that's gonna have to be addressed eventually. So pretty much I need to go through. This thing needs bearings, head to toe, and probably a head gasket. Clutch feels all right, shifts through all the gears good, everything like that. The chain don't look the greatest. The thing's pretty freaking ugly, honestly. The plastics aren't too bad, right? So I'm gonna continue with my spray. I only let it sit for a couple minutes. Okay? And then I sprayed it off as good as I could, and I'll do it again tomorrow. It'll probably look pretty good after, get some fuel in the pressure washer, let it sit for a little bit longer, and blast that stuff off. I also started to do the exhaust. Try to get the black off this, make it look like it should, and started doing that Nerf bar. Started getting the black off the freaking swing arm. Like, holy crap, they just went ham. Luckily, they did not paint the motor or anything stupid like that. But they did paint the front shocks. It's just fucking ugly. And like every other freaking Honda 400ex, they're famous for cracking here. Not a huge deal. I've never had a 400ex that was not cracked. They've all been cracked there. Every single one. But eventually, I want to completely tear this apart because I am keeping this one. I'm not selling it. I have to have a sport quad, you know. And so I do want to tear this completely down to the frame. I'm going to go through. I'm going to weld up all the cracks, maybe gusset a couple areas. And I want to get the frame and everything powder coated and make this thing look nice. So, oh yeah, it does have a skid plate, metal skid plate for the swing arm, and also underneath the motor and the frame and everything. That's pretty cool. Those are really nice. Only big downside, they're noisy. I don't care what you do, they 99.9% of the time they're gonna rattle a little bit. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. My day's over. So tomorrow we'll get back to trying to remove some more of this nasty black paint and probably take this thing out for a rip. Get a little GoPro action as soon as I track down my GoPro. I haven't used the GoPro in a few months, so get it charged up and all that good fun stuff. But she's a runner. She's a runner. I'm pretty pumped. Like I said, I have like $100 out of my pocket into this wheeler. Everything else has been, literally, I got some stuff. I put like the $100 see out of pocket because I put it into what I traded for this. We traded straight across, and so that's pretty cool. I got a sport quad, and we're gonna be making some more videos. Stay tuned. Yeah, that goofy sticker's going away. Don't worry.